All right, hello everybody. Thank you for giving me a couple minutes here to get set up. I hope that you're doing well. Today was a very cool day when it comes to tabulating all the votes because let me check my spreadsheet here. I think we were only like 17 votes away, which is why I needed to double check a couple of times. Yeah, by 17 votes, we got today's topic. It was a tie between this North Star, which you guys chose, alignment to soul path, and binary star, calling in high frequency partnerships. I actually think that you made the right choice here because you have to really do the work internally before you're going to be able to call in partnerships. So perhaps we can look at it next week. I mean, it was very close, but I always like you guys to be able to vote on it. So I'll probably put it back out there and just remind folks that it was the first place one. But anyway, if you've ever thought of voting and you haven't before, that's actually how close it was because the membership. And like basically I have YouTube members and also Patreon patrons. They broke the tie this week because it was a dead heat on the regular poll. So that is the bonus of membership. And this time you guys got to choose. So thank you to everybody who voted. And if you didn't get a chance, every week I do a poll and you get to help affect what I do here on this channel. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. That little furry guy behind me is Apollo. You're watching the weekly collective today, and a weekly collective is a 7-day forecast, plus it's kind of chock full of a lot of other cool stuff. I begin every reading that I do with channeled messages. We're going to do a benediction today too because I was taking that extra time to tabulate, but we'll do that in a second. So basically here's the format. I'll do it briefly. We will do channeled messages, which come from source, messages that I got in dreams, messages that I was inspired to talk about, also because you chose the North Star. We'll do the 7-day forecast taking us from Sunday to Sunday. Then we'll take a look at a series of things, including blessings and blocks, a breakdown by elements. It's the only portion of today that's going to be sign specific. And then a chance for you to vote on something again, a viewer's choice live. And then we'll take a look at the special topic. And at the very end, if there's a question that you have for me, save it because at that point I'll have a chance to look at it and help you navigate. Okay, so that's the overall forecast. Let me go ahead and get the candles lit. We'll do this together and then we'll get started. Okay, thanks everybody. So let's begin by connecting to source. And by the way, it's always good to set intentions before you do any intuitive work. So once in a while, I like to open this up to you, especially when there's a lot that I have to do in the morning. So today was kind of like the perfect alignment. All right, imagine yourself taking a look at the night sky, and we're going to work with Polaris because it is our North Star. And close your eyes and just feel this connection to the starlight. And imagine that all around you, there's this beautiful luminous silver light. It's going to protect you and guide you through today's reading. We're also going to set an intention that we're connecting to source energy, and you're connecting to your highest self so that you can filter in whatever it is that you need to do and go from there. All right? Close your eyes, see that light. We'll make an intention to connect to the highest light and the highest light only. Okay? And I'm actually going to add some new candles in here so that they stay illuminated the entire time. We're going to work with 4 different guardians. I usually work with archangels. You can work with whatever you'd like. I'm going to light the first candle and connect with Archangel Michael and ask for protection, for guidance, and again, just to allow us to be able to really focus on receiving messages, knowing that we are safe, we are protected, and we are connected. I'll ask for a connection to Archangel Gabriel, really great if you're doing any sort of creative work or reading as well, because again, it's connecting you to source energy. So please, Archangel Gabriel, allow us to connect to source. Allow me as a reader to be a clear channel and say the right things to the right people at the right time and to deliver messages in the highest form. I also like to work with Archangel, let's see, we're going to do Raphael for healing. So Archangel Raphael, allow any healing that needs to take place, allow the messages to give us the sort of how and wherewithal to do that healing and to help facilitate it today. And then, since we have all of this sort of higher angelic realm coming through, I also like to ask for help from Ascended Masters, and they can work through those archangels. So Ascended Masters, please come through. Anyone that I didn't name but that has a message, please work with Archangel Gabriel to deliver those messages. All right, you can also light a candle on your own and say any prayer or intention you would like. I would also like to say I'm grateful that you chose to spend today with me, and I can't wait to see what comes through. With that being said, let's move on to the channeled messages. Okay, so today you helped me choose one, and then I'm going to report to you some things that I was seeing also in primarily in dreams today. It was a busy morning for me, but we're going to look at the North Star. So we'll work with Polaris. I'm just going to pull a couple of high-level bits of information. We have so much to talk about today. I'm not going to sort of like weigh it down too much with channeled messages, but there were a few, and I want to make sure that we talk about them before we get started. So some fun facts with Polaris. Although to the naked eye it looks like it's a single star, it's part of a 3-star system, and it's part of also the Ursa Minor constellation, so which is one of the Bear constellations in the sky. It's the only star that appears to remain stationary, and much like Polaris, you're being asked to connect with the star in tarot, which is being sort of decisive, making a decision and going with it. Even if you're not 100% sure, sometimes people are looking to you because maybe you have the best reasoning, you have the best research skills, because they trust you, because they don't know. And so sometimes you're being thrown into that spotlight, and you may have a sense of, anxiety or uncertainty about your ability to do it. But let me tell you, you can do it. Everybody kind of deals with those internal questions. This month, this week in particular, is a chance for you to just say, all right, I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make this a great day. I'm going to make this a great experience, and we'll figure it out together. Okay? That's all you're being asked to do, is rise to the occasion. You can do this. All right? And I'm here to kind of coach you on it today. There's some healing and awakening going on. I chose one of my favorite cards from the Wildwood Tarot, which is one that we'll vote on for today. In this one, we actually have the Great Bear, which is in the Judgment position, number 20. And I like it too. There's a few different bears in this deck. One is the Queen of, I think she's the Queen of Pentacles. And there may be one other one. But whenever I look at the deck here, there's always this sense of awakening and sometimes protection that needs to happen. If you look into the mythology of what the Big and Little Dipper are, basically it's a mother and child. So we're going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go deep into the mythology today, but I will say that familial healing is possible. So it could be, let's just say parent and child, just to kind of take gender roles out of it. There may be some parent and child healing that need to happen on either side of the equation. There could also be sort of that feeling of like, who's the boss, leadership. You may be in this sort of nurturing or leading role, and you also have to figure out, am I ready for this? Can I do this? I look at bears as a sense of, or a symbol of either going into hibernation or awakening from it. So many of you may be deciding, am I putting a chapter to rest, which is why I featured Judgment, or am I waking up and looking at this different, from a different perspective? And if I'm doing that, it takes me a little bit of time to get my wits about me. So for those of you that are morning people, maybe this isn't so much of an issue, but for most of us, we need a little bit of time to wake up and to get things kind of going. And that's been one of the challenges for me even this morning, as I've been getting used to this early rise time for the short term, because you have less time to kind of like go from out there in the ethers to reporting and doing what you need to be doing. So for me, it's not so bad because it actually just means I'm more intuitive, but because I haven't had a lot of time to join the waking world. But for the rest of us, if we look at it as a life situation, going to the previous card, you could be thrust into a decision-making moment, and you're going to have to lean into your intuitive knowledge, because you may not have all the facts, all the figures, you may not have had as much time to prepare as you wanted to, and you're like the grumpy bear. But you're going to be okay, because Judgment is also about deciding. You can be given a decision, but you can also decide and embrace the decision. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this okay. And in this card, it's this bear is basically guarding a cave, and on the other side, something beautiful, something wonderful. And we have one of the bigger Little Dippers behind it, which is why I feature this card as well. So you just have to decide, yes or no. I'm ready or I'm not. And that's basically the call to action for this week, which will play out as we look at the 7-day forecast. Okay, so now I had two dream energies and metaphors that came through, and we're going to break these down, and I chose two ace cards to represent them. The first was, and I chose a big star because we're looking at stars today. So I was shown a car, it was going in the wrong direction, and it was course correcting like what? Like whoever was behind the wheel was kind of like trying to just radically go around, and I watched as the tires almost blew out. Then I looked at the tires and they were a mess anyway to start with. And so to start a journey, to start something new, you have to do some preparation, and you also have to make sure, and we're going to talk about it in a moment about like tying up loose ends. You're going to have to do a combination of that. But for this, there's some preventative maintenance. So for some of you, this could be a literal sort of thing. Make sure that you're taking care of your car. Have you had your engine checked, your tires rotated, or your tires repaired? Is everything good? So do that preventative maintenance. It also extends to other aspects of your mental and physical health too. Are you doing what you need to make sure that you've had a checkup with the doctor, that you are eating well, that you are putting good fuel in your body, that you're also environmentally kind of putting good things around you? All of this is going to help you so that you're not veering around like that car was, because it was unsteady, the alignment was off, and possibly it hadn't been maintained well. So this can help you avoid things like the Two of Pentacles, the Tower, things that are kind of veering you, or Ten of Swords, where you're getting sick or you're saying things you shouldn't do or doing things you shouldn't do. So let's take care of you right now and take care of planning for whatever the next chapter or step in the road may be. Definitely pay attention to your car, because that came through. But I think the car can be a metaphor for your body and your life. So also make sure everything else is in alignment. All right. Now, clearing your conscience and clearing yourself. This was a very interesting metaphor. Or symbol, I should say. I saw someone walking on newly carpeted flooring, and it was white, but the person was coming in barefoot, and their feet were a mess, and I saw this wake of dust and dirt and grime behind them. To me, this is about entering into a new relationship, job, or situation, or just even, again, something new in your life without having cleaned up everything. So maybe you should have said I was sorry to someone. You maybe could, if you're going to leave a job, make sure that you're giving 2 weeks notice and not just leaving them, sort of like wondering what to do with zero notice. If you stormed out of a room, make sure that you come back and clear the air. Because I saw dirty feet, and to me, dirty feet, it's kind of showing that there's something energetically that you can do to make it easier on yourself, and also make sure that this new chapter is one where you have a clean slate. And people aren't tracing this trail backward, because if you've left it kind of clean and there's no loose ends, then you have an open heart, an open mind, and it's like the world and the Fool combined. Great energy, expansion, new beginnings. Otherwise, it's like Seven of Swords energy, where there's something that you need to take care of, but or Moon energy, and you're kind of ignoring it. So this is a good time. We're out of retrograde, but we're in the shadow right now, and we can still make some reparations, and I want the rest of this month to be amazing. So clear and clean, mentally, energetically, environmentally, this week, it would be a really good thing. So just do some cleaning, do some housekeeping, and put your heart into it. That's why I put the Ace of Cups there. So if you are going to say or do something, make sure that you feel it here. Because if you don't feel it here, the timing's not right. But do it sooner than later, definitely before this month is up, but ideally before this week is up. Okay? So those are your messages this week, and I feel like they're beautiful. And I'm glad you chose the topic that you chose. And now we're going to navigate together some of the energy and opportunities in front of us. So we're going to move along now to the 7-day forecast. and I'm going to take a look and see which deck I'm called to use. I feel like for the special topic, I kind of want to use the Wildwood because I was looking at those other energies. So today maybe I'll just choose the decks, and you can trust that I'm making good choices. But if I feel like I want to put it up for vote, I will. But let's just kind of get started here and see what's calling to me at present. I may do Fountain for this 7-day forecast. All right, so let me just make sure that we can see the table, and we're going to use the Fountain Tarot for this. All right. So this is going to be from Sunday to Sunday for everybody that's present. This portion of the reading, again, is collective. That's what that word means. It basically means everybody here will receive a message and healing message. All right. One for today. And now let's take a look at this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and take a look at next weekend. Saturday and Sunday. All right, we got some great cards. We have a couple of, most of it's pretty good actually. It looks like the trickiest day is going to be the center of the week, but the rest of the cards are looking pretty bright, especially Loving the Lovers on Tuesday. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's begin with the energy for those of you that are watching me live today. We have the Ace of Wands. I definitely was feeling Ace energy as I was getting started today. Ace of Wands is really asking you to do the internal work here and kind of figure it out, map things out, and ask yourself, like, what do I want? What do I want to do? If there's an idea or something that you've been thinking of getting started on, this is about taking that and doing something productive with it, whether it's talking it out, researching it out, somehow breathing a little bit of life into whatever it is that you're doing. The other thing that Ace of Wands represents in a relationship, it can be passion. So this could be a chance for you to decide to spend a little bit of one-on-one time with someone that you love. And intimacy takes several forms. It doesn't have to just be physical. You could decide to take a walk, watch a movie, just chill out together and just basically talk and share your ideas and your thoughts. But it is about asking about what's going on with the other person. So however you can kind of open up, it's not just about the Ace of Swords, it's spending time, being close to them, and then through that proximity and through that intimacy, allowing them to kind of like share what's going on. So in relationships, building intimacy and trust. In your own life, figuring out what you want and getting inspired, because to me, this is also passion. So are you lacking passion in your life? Instead of just doing work today or just watching television or whatever it is that you're going to do, maybe do something that can spark something inspirational within. So if there's anything that you don't give yourself permission to do during the week, for whatever reason, do something fun today and do it just because. We're really focusing on the passion part of the Ace of Wands. That's what's coming through the most, particularly because we were so close to getting binary star or relationships, and also because the Lovers comes up on Tuesday. So let's use the heart, and let's also use the second chakra and connect passion and heart-centric energy and put it into something that's worth your time and energy. And if you haven't felt this inspiration to get up in the morning for whatever reason, ask yourself, why am I not feeling inspired? Where's my vitality? Where did it go? Why is it lacking right now? And today's a good day to work on rebuilding and reconnecting with things that make you feel vital and alive and connected to the world. We have the Three of Wands kicking off the week. Very favorable energy. The Three of Wands happens to be reversed, but 3 and 4 of Wands, I don't mind if they're reversed. They're still very positive. I like that we see this sort of lasso energy going on here. It's almost like a cowboy, cowgirl getting ready to throw that lasso and grab what they want. I love an active Three of Wands, and the Fountain deck does a really great job of showing what that could look like. So basically, Three of Wands communicates that what you seek not only is possible, but it's already happening and it's within reach. This Three of Wands says, yeah, I know that, and I am going to do something today to get a little closer to it. It's setting your sights on something. It's connecting with what was the Two of Wands, which is, I see it, I know it, I'm going to do it. And now you're seeing that it's there and you're saying, well, this is what I'm going to prioritize today. I'm really going to own this. So meet a goal, a person, place, or thing, whatever it is that's going to bring you closer to your sort of big picture, and say, like, today, this is my main focus. And I'm going to pick up the phone, or I'm going to make this meeting happen, or I'm going to just open up some of this energy. Because the more you believe and the more you connect with that, the more the Three of Wands is going to show you other energies around you that you can connect with. So basically, if you felt like you've had writer's block, if you felt like you haven't been able to meet the right person, if you felt like you've been stuck at work, something opens up. It may not be in the form that you expected, because guess what? God and the universe likes to surprise us, right? So there's going to possibly be a different shape or form or avenue. And that's why you're going to have to, like, lasso it in. And you could also be the person being lassoed by someone else. So maybe someone reaches out and says, hey, have you considered doing this? Or have you talked to that person yet? You should do that today. So either you're the lassoer or someone else is going to lasso you and pull you in. And really the big question this week, as we kind of go back to what I was talking about in channel messages, is, are you ready to step in to the spotlight? And I'll pull that sort of slide up one more time. It really is just a question of preparedness and readiness and getting out of your headspace. So are you ready to be the light, to be the guide, to be the North Star? Because people are waiting for you. And again, it kind of all goes down to this bear card too, like making the decision to do it. All right. So hopefully I can guide you through that today. Suffice it to say that Monday is a great day. It's a good day for negotiations. It's a good day for getting work done. It's a good day for breaking through any sort of barriers that you've been previously experiencing, okay? Great day. Someone saying that they're having a meeting, should be a really good day for meetings, all of that. So I like how the week is kicking off. I like that actually today you could get a lot done. In wands in particular, I like to do addition and subtraction to see where we're going. If you do the homework today, you can take this Ace of Wands, combine it with the Three of Wands, and you have partnership energy, Four of Wands, which also comes through on Tuesday. So the more you prepare, the better Monday is going to be, particularly when it comes to a meeting or greeting of some sort. Someone's going to say, yeah, I feel what you have to say, because this is also passion. So put your passion to work, put your energy to work, meet on Monday, and this automatically becomes Four of Wands energy, which then leads to the Lovers on Tuesday. So you already have the components to have a great partnership set up on Monday, whether it's business meeting or date, things are looking good. All right, Tuesday's better, possibly the best day so far. We have the Lovers, it's upright, so there's no need to sort of decide how to improve this. We see two people, eye to eye, face to face, hand to hand, connecting. And really what the Lovers is a magnet in tarot. And when we think of the North Star, it's something that doesn't lie to us. A compass can lie to us, right? I was recently rewatching. I watched season 4 of Stranger Things, but something made me want to watch like the first season again, because it really is kind of like a magical one. The kids were young, everything was cool, it was very 80s themed. But one of the things that you see in there is the compasses that are going crazy, because sometimes they can be fooled by a different magnetic source. So going to the spirit and the energy of North Star, you are aligned, you are focused, you are clear. There could be things around you that are trying to get your compass to point in erratic or other directions. But you are going to be able to overcome that. And in this particular situation, you may even be able to pull someone else into your energetic field or your point of view. So it works both ways, folks. So we can be distracted by others, but we can also be so strong that we are like that North Star, or even the magnetic north, or both together. So the more passionate you are, the more clear that you are, the more authentic you are, the more that people are like, yeah, I really like this. I really feel guided to come to you, even if it doesn't make sense, because your energy feels good. Your thought process feels good. I'm also passionate because of your passion. When you think of a really good salesperson or a really good business person, a lot of times one of their best skills, it's usually two things. It's their communication, right? They just have great ability to, in their physicality and also in the words that they choose to just say what needs to be said. But they also tend to pull in this sort of passion. And you can see that in charismatic personalities, whether it's an actor, a business person, a politician. Certain people just emote and people connect with that. So if you can do that on Tuesday, you're going to have some great interactions with people. This is the best day to meet. Monday's good. Monday's actually possibly part of a two-part meeting for some of you, but Tuesday's when the magic happens. Great day for relationships. Great day for saying I'm sorry if things are not in the best place. Whatever you want to do, people are the focus on Tuesday, and you're missing something if you don't use your people power on Tuesday as well. So even if you're not dating, if there's anything that you need to do, whether it's go to the bank or go to the DMV or whatever, like go somewhere where you wouldn't like to normally go, you're still going to have better interactions with people. So this is a great day for doing that, and it's an even better day for if you're in a relationship, deepening that partnership. If you want to go out, it's a good day to meet the person. If you need to have a negotiation of some sort, also a great day to negotiate. All right, looking now at the energy of Wednesday, and I've been pushing you to do it Monday or Tuesday because Wednesday, this is a day where you want to spend a little bit more time on you, on yourself. Because when we look at this, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. Three of Swords, if I'm going to see it, I'd rather have it reversed, but it's basically saying, I choose happiness and I understand why something is triggering me. But you could find yourself a little bit more irritable, sensitive, a little bit more kind of raw on Wednesday. So to prepare yourself and to set yourself up for success, really make sure that that's not the day that you're making heavy decisions or having important conversations. Sometimes we can't avoid it. Sometimes we don't have the deciding factor on like our schedule or whatever. If you have to say or do something, make sure that you are really being mindful of the effect of your words, and less is more. But if there is something important that you need to say or articulate, you have to say it. So maybe there's something you have to get off your chest, because the Three of Swords can indicate a heavy chest or emotion. So let it out. But make sure that if it is something like in business, that you draft it out first. So do a draft. Don't even do it in your email. Just do it in a Word document. Edit it a couple times, and then rather than an email, have a face-to-face with somebody. But you can kind of print out your talking points. Get it out. Get out the ugly. Get out the feelings. Put it all on paper. Then try to feel how you would feel if you received it and work your way through it. But it feels like emotionally, this is a sensitive day. So talk to someone. Like I said, maybe put something on paper and sleep on it if you can. Whatever you need to do to sort of like get to the next level. Because following this would be Four of Swords, which is rest. So again, it's nice to sort of follow the swords or the wands through and see what the next phase would be. I do think just kind of taking it easy is the name of the game on Wednesday. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, take a break if you can, and let's see what Thursday has in store for you. So we have the Page of Wands here reversed. So someone's giving you a different way to look at something. Maybe a challenging point of view, new insight, new data, new research that could reshape the way that you're looking at something. You get to decide if you want to go further with this, because it is kind of like, to me, it's looking like it's coming from an external source. You could also have this sort of inner question, which is, have I thought of everything? Could I do this differently? The upright Page of Wands is really fun because we have this conducting energy here, which is basically you being the connector. And I think here's the important thing. If you are about to deliver a message, or if you are receiving some sort of feedback, give yourself a minute to calibrate and decide, where do I stand? If you like it, go with it. And if you don't, then go back and talk. Because one thing that is important as a messenger, as a conduit, is to make sure that you are behind the message that you're delivering. All of the things that I was talking about with like a good salesman, a good actor, a good singer, anyone that's interpreting and delivering, is that they have to feel it. Like if you look at two different, or listen to two different singers, the phrasing and how long they hold a note, or sometimes how raw their voice is, even if it breaks, it can give you a different emotional impact because they're interpreting it. They're feeling the energy of the words a little bit more, and then you feel it too. So you need to take a moment and calibrate and make the true connection to the message before delivering the message. And that's the important thing when you're the medium, when you're the page, when you're the person delivering it, okay? And that's the best piece of advice that I can give you is get behind it or change it or have a conversation if you can't get behind the message. The other thing here is be open-minded. Some interesting things could come across your plate on Thursday, and the most important thing you could do is to acknowledge, I hear you, and I might need to think about this. Can I have a day or two? Can I talk to some people around me? Can I just basically mull this over? You may not always have time to do so, but if you can, this is a great day to kind of like take a temperature, a pulse, check, and see what others think. The end of the week is going to be busy for you. When we go to Friday, we have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands in this particular deck actually shows teamwork. There's always a choice with the Five of Wands between competition and like cooperation/collaboration. The latter, of course, being the strongest. If you can cooperate, collaborate, and also bring order to chaos, then you are unstoppable. And that's really what the call to action is at the end of the week, is to regroup with people. And it may not be as easy as it was on Tuesday, but you might be able to pull over some of that favor and some of that good energy from Monday and Tuesday and then finish up what you started. So if we looked at this in the course of some sort of a conversation, good start, a wrinkle in the sort of contract or discussion, and then you come back to a good place by the end of the week. So a little bit of negotiation, and someone's not happy with something, but it's not the end of the world. It's certainly not the Tower or the Devil or the Ten of Swords. It's just like, I don't want to do this, or that's not what we said. Then you come back together and you hammer it out. And that's what I kind of see in this week as a chance to start really strong, overcome a difficulty, get back to work. The weekend looks pretty good. We have the Five of Cups and the Four of Swords. This is the overdue rest, by the way. So I would take it here if you could, but if you have to wait, finish everything up, and then you're due for a really nice long day off. But let's start with Saturday first, and then I'll highlight Sunday. All right, we got the Five of Cups here. Five of Cups reverse, which is really begging to you to make a sort of shift in perspective. Five of Cups always allows us to look at two different options. What didn't go right? What did I do wrong? Is it my fault? Why am I not here? Comparing myself to other people, etc. Versus, hey, someone's in my corner. Wow, I learned a lot about myself. Oh my goodness, look at what's opening up over here. This one separates them so that we see the two cups upright, which means that someone could be interested, someone could be advocating for you. It might be behind the curtains. It might be behind closed doors. You may not know that you have this hidden champion there, but there's someone there that's in your corner. The Three of Cups can also indicate gossip. You could, or negative comments or feedback. So someone in your life could have said something and it made its way through the grapevine, got back to you. Vice versa, you could have said something and it kind of backfired and went back to the person you were talking about, and then they let you know that they know. Either way that you slice this, there's still a chance either here for, this is what I was seeing with like clearing your conscience, just saying, I'm sorry, and trying your best to reconnect with that person, knowing that sometimes sorry doesn't cut it when words like that are spilled, but you could just start to rebuild. It's not going to necessarily happen overnight, but you clear it, you clean it, you sort of really put your best olive branch forward and see where that leads. But also the gossip piece from others or the negative feedback from others is important here, because you don't have, take it with a bag of salt, not just a grain of salt. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's an expert on something. But somebody appreciates what you have to offer here. I would focus on the positive, not the negative. Even if you said or did something wrong, focus on how to make amends and focus on how to be the best partner, friend, or coworker moving forward. That's the choice in direction. That's the North Star calling you and saying, you learned from that. You won't do it again. It's okay. As long as you're learning, adapting, and improving, There really aren't mistakes. There were just choices, right? Now we have the call to rest. Take a rest. Next Sunday, a week from today, we have the Four of Swords. This Four of Swords is really cool because we see that little tiny bird there whispering to this person as they're resting, ostensibly. So the important thing for you is to understand that through rest, through relaxation, through taking a break, you're able to get a sort of like more holistic view of what's going on, and also open up to your conscience, your higher self, your consciousness, because that little bird is representing spirit coming through and talking to you. And if you don't take a break, it's like that car that I saw with the tires that were threadbare, that was screeching and kind of going in erratic directions. You're not as effective, and eventually it causes a breakdown, a 10 of Swords or a Tower. So take a break on Sunday. You need it. You probably could do it on Wednesday too. So both or one or the other. These are going to help you avoid having that sort of being pushed to your limits sort of energy. Okay? But overall, I really like what's coming through. I would say the strongest day is probably Tuesday. I'm loving the energy here. I think that today and tomorrow, Sunday and Monday, can also be great. You have a really great start to the week. Don't let something small take you off of this good energy. And it looks like you're very quickly able to course correct, as long as you don't take something personally and someone else doesn't take something personally. And next weekend, just rest and recalibrate and redirect your energy. All right, so that is the 7-day forecast. Let's go ahead and put the cards here. And let's see, I believe I do blessings and blocks next. Let me just double check and see what I have here. Yeah, we're gonna do blessings and blocks next. While I get ready for that, I'm gonna grab some water because I forgot to do that. And then we're gonna look at this. Blessings and blocks, just like they sound. It's gonna be something to help elevate the energy, something that you want to avoid. So let me get my drink and then we'll get straight into that. While I'm doing this, a quick reminder, if you enjoy what you see here, please hit that subscribe button. It does help. It's absolutely free. And if you happen to be watching me live, it allows you to chat. So it's win-win for both of us. You can also follow me on social media. I always put reminders there of upcoming videos. So it's a great way if you're busy to know, hey, what's Nicholas doing today? And if you'd like to show some support in real time, you can do it with Super Chat, Super Stickers, or if you watch on replay, Super Thanks. And this little image shows like where that is, where you can kind of click on that. And I also have my schedule up. I said I would. I finally got it up yesterday. And I wanted to announce, first of all, for those of you that are celebrating Happy Pride, I know this is Pride Month, and I'm going to do a special video next week, an extra day that I'm working this month on Tuesday. You can check out the schedule to get the exact date, but I'll be doing something about the authentic you, which, by the way, everybody can benefit from. Because when we think about what Pride is really about, Pride Month, it's about telling the truth. It's about coming out and being the authentic you. It's kind of some of what we're doing today, but I'm going to go a lot deeper into it next week because some of it is about self-love, acceptance, moving past disappointment in people around you that may not be supporting you. So everyone can benefit, whether you're part of the LGBTQ plus community or not. But I'm definitely going to do something special this month for Pride. Okay, so I haven't done that before and I've always wanted to. So an extra reading next week, bonus, and then I'll be doing another bonus at the end of the month as well. All right, let me go ahead now and move on to blessings and blocks, getting back into this weekly forecast. And let's see what's calling to me. We'll do the Light Seers deck for this one. All right, interesting here. So, blessings and blocks. So the blessing this week could just be this influx of excitement and optimism. The card was reversed, however, so sometimes we have these great expectations that are very difficult to achieve. You can set the bar so high, and expect so much of yourself. Sometimes you expect so much of others that it can be very disappointing when this doesn't happen. And then it's like, you know, cue the horns, like, oh my God, why did that disappoint me? Why isn't this happening? So the Nine of Cups begs us to try not to overreact. It's saying walk the middle a little bit and recalibrate to still you can find a silver lining. It doesn't have to, this isn't like Pollyanna where everything's perfect, everything's always cool. I think we should actually feel our emotions, but then once you feel it, decide, do I want to keep feeling that? What made me feel that? Because you don't want to invalidate. Having things like fear, anxiety, sadness, etc., it's coming through for a reason. So if we just try to rush past it, we're not actually understanding it. So understand the source, identify the source, and decide then what to do with it. And this one is also about maybe recontextualizing something, because we do see this little treasure chest here. Everything is valuable. Everything we've called in for a purpose. So the blessing this week is that there is a silver lining, but the block is what we expected to happen didn't happen perfectly. Something, maybe just there was a wrinkle. Maybe it's we're the only one that sees that little wrinkle in the plan, but it bothers you, and you have a choice to hold on to it or release it and see the bigger picture. So see the bigger picture. There is a lot to celebrate. This is invariably a good card, but it can show that there's going to be punctuated highs and lows. So something really good could be going on in your life. Conversely, this could be it. You achieve or accomplish something really great, and then someone around you is having a really hard time. So you have the binary opposites of Nine of Cups upright and Nine of Cups reverse. So you're going to have to do your best to balance the two and keep on keeping on, okay? You can do this. It is about perspective, and it is about trying to find the best in both situations. This is a really interesting card for the block. I love the way that this artist illustrated justice, because particularly for people like me that read reversals, it's always a choice. You don't have to, but I feel like it brings extra meaning. So what we see in this one is how strong a no can be. The yes, here's what happens sometimes. This can be a people-pleasing sort of thing. Whatever makes you happy, trying to always balance everything out. Justice reverse, she's like, yeah, I've been there. I've done that. I've tried to please everyone. Now I have to do something that's important, and it may not be popular, but it's important. And the truth sometimes is something that isn't popular. The right thing is sometimes something that isn't popular. So it's important to kind of get the confidence that we see in justice reverse, which is, I know myself enough to know that this isn't it. So there's something you need to say no to, and it might be hard to articulate why, or just simply saying no. It's a small word, it's 2 letters, it's a short sort of word when you say it, but it's so powerful, and it sometimes can pull up a lot energetically within us, right? One other thing here, and this is super important when it comes to dating people and also negotiating something. Do you believe that you deserve whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish? Because this can be doubt. This can be saying, I don't matter as much, or this isn't the right time, or I'm not worth it. And so for those of you that are kind of vacillating with that, all you have to do is say, yes, I am worth it. Yes, I am ready. Yes, this will be okay. She simply is the shadow of fear, the shadow of doubt. So justice can cut a couple of ways here. If you need to say no on something, it's encouragement to say no. If you've set up everything for success in your life, but you're starting to second guess yourself, it's about saying no to the doubt, basically. No, I've worked hard enough. I do deserve this. This is going to be okay. All right. And again, the blessing and the block, both of them are kind of, they have multiple layers. It's not just clear cut. So the blessing is like something good could be happening for you, but something else challenging can be happening. So finding the balance, and then we see balance coming in as a message as well with justice, okay? The way to balance it out may be simply by saying no to something that doesn't make sense, or by realizing that, yes, you deserve this opportunity in front of you, okay? So those are your blessings and blocks. And I believe that we'll be moving on to the elements next. Yes, we're going to go to the elemental forecast. What are the elements, you might ask? Well, it's fire, earth, air, and water. And under each of these, we'll have 3 signs. It's a quick way for me to do a few sign-specific messages today, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let me look and see which deck of cards is calling me, and we'll go from there. Let's see, maybe something that I haven't used in a little bit. I do the Lily for this one. Or Afro Goddess. I usually use Afro Goddess for this part, but let's see. True Heart Intuitive. True Heart Intuitive. Okay. We'll use True Heart Intuitive for this portion. So this will be for fire, earth, air. Okay, we're not going to pull three of this one. Water. All right, lots of great cards. Let's start with fire. Fire, this is going to be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. You have a beautiful card here coming through. It's a breakthrough week for you. We have the World. So for many of you, we saw back in the channeled messages the Judgment card, which is basically really deciding this is what I want, and yes, I'm ready. Also connecting with the Justice message that came through for some of you as a potential block. Once you decide, once you're truly ready, we have the expansive energy of the World stepping in, again for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So this is a good week for you to share something with a larger team, with a larger group. You know, we were talking about pride and announcements. This is a great time to also come out and announce something. It doesn't have to be coming out. It could also be a project. It could also be something that you've decided to publish, to produce, to share. But the World card basically carries within it the ability to reach the larger audience and to let something take on a life of its own. So for creative folks out there, this is a really good time to like send something to an editor or a producer or someone that's going to make a bigger decision. Also, broadcasting, dissemination, etc. You can be the voice of reason. You can be the one that's sort of sending the message out. It can come straight from source. But basically everything about this card I love. It's also a good card for those of you that are moving in or out of something, because that's what this is ends and beginnings. We go straight from the World back into the Fool, but it's the wise Fool. It's taking with it all of the sort of experience and wisdom that you've just been through. So starting and stopping new things, sharing things with other people, and also reaching a larger audience. Those are the things that are kind of coming through for all of my fire signs. So beautiful energy, expansive energy, good week ahead for you. Let's move from fire to earth. So in earth, we have temperance, and earth is, of course, going to be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Temperance is a very powerful card. It's guided by an angel. It's about having the ability to kind of straddle two different realities. So some of you may be the perfect person to kind of like be a mediator or to kick something off, because you can empathize and you can communicate and you can elaborate in a way that pulls together disparate people that normally wouldn't talk or work together. It's a reminder that everything starts somewhere. So today and each day over the next 7 days, take another step in that direction. Patience, diligence, really not giving up, perseverance. It's all going to pay off. And temperance is the answer to the Nine of Cups, which can be overly enthusiastic, overly reactive. And this is basically saying, yes, I feel this, but let me take a half step here for a moment and decide, what do I want to do about the way that I feel? Temperance doesn't deny the emotions per se. It's sort of saying, I feel this, so what does this mean? What's next? So your patience, biting your lip for a second and deciding, do I want to say what I want to say? Do I want to do that just yet? That extra pause is actually going to pay off in a really big way for all the earth signs. Because remember what we were looking at here on the table when we had, it's kind of hidden now here, but the four, it's basically the hidden Four of Wands. So today, as you're doing your research on Sunday and getting ready for the Monday meeting here with the Three of Wands, you're getting everything ready. That preparation then also calls in the energy of the Lovers. So preparation is going to be so important for earth signs, because you're going to be, and it makes sense, right? Especially doing the homework and doing the research. It's really going to put you head and shoulders above the rest. You're going to be able to keep your calm and keep your cool when other people are freaking out. So I think that you're going to show sort of a quiet power this week. And when I think of people that I love and trust and respect, it's the people that are like, they don't falter, right? They're able to get through a difficult situation without falling to pieces. So that's how you show your strength. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about being the most sort of like, emotive. It's about staying firm, making progress, being perseverant, and not losing your cool. If you can do that this week, you have a quiet power that sets you apart from others. Let's move on to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So you got the Queen of Wands reversed. She's the boss. She's super bossy in reverse, actually. I like that we see sort of like this multi-armed diva kind of energy with her, which is saying you are going to be asked to multitask, to be a lot of different places at the same time. One thing that it's saying, though, is that you don't have to be different people. You're just going to have to extend yourself in a few different directions. But remember, the whole purpose of today is to realign to soul path. So we don't want to see you fragment. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, this actually is something that can happen a lot to you because as an air sign, you're capable of being able to see it from the other person's point of view. By definition, you can kind of go bird's eye view and look down. Libra in particular can try to sometimes split themselves or so what we're trying to do here is to not say yes to everyone, not to please everyone, to basically say, we agreed upon this. I hear what you're saying here, and this is my solution. So you can try your best to acknowledge things, but you're still going to have to take the lead. You're still going to have to be the boss. So the toughest thing for some of you may just be stepping into the boss role and articulating why for some of you it's going to be a no or a recalibration. We talked about this. We're not doing this. We're doing this. Remember? That is actually one way to say no. To go, it's going to be even easier if there's an agreement. And justice is about an agreement, by the way. I forgot to say that. So if someone's not doing what they said they were going to do, you might have to revisit the contract or revisit what you originally talked about and say, I agree, this sounds great, but that's not what we committed to. We need to finish that first, then we can talk about this. So either go back to the contract, recalibrate, or just be strong and stand your ground. The other thing for you is many of you might be doing too much. And whenever I see Seven of Wands or Queen of Wands reversed, there is a chance to delegate, to let go of some stuff. So you don't have to be everything to everyone. Remember that. It's easier said than done. And I think a lot of air signs just have this capacity, again, to be great listeners, great speakers, great leaders, just great at emoting and connecting. But sometimes people pull you in too many directions. So try your best to not be overutilized this week. Remembering the importance of what we saw in the larger forecast, you may end up kind of like getting pulled too thin on Wednesday. So take a U day then, and then all the way here when we were looking at next Sunday. You need at least a couple days off. I think especially my air signs, that was for you. All right, moving on to water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Speaking up is going to be probably the hardest thing and taking the first step of action. So we have the Knight of Swords, Prince of Swords in reverse. And basically, Knights come through as a sort of call to action. Do the right thing. Do what you need to do. A reversal of any of the swords cards, particularly the why can't I think of it? Any of the sort of king, queen, knight, or page. What that's basically saying, the court cards, thank you. Any of the court cards, they're basically saying, I need to be able to show a different way or say a different way or kind of like edit this a little bit so that it gets to where it needs to be. So something needs to stop for a second. It's a slowing down, by the way. So I never really kind of articulated it this way, but because of the car metaphor that came through this morning, I'm seeing like pumping the brakes, because normally a Knight of Swords is taking off and is achieving great action. When a Knight of Swords is reversed, it's basically saying slow down, revise, review, revisit. So pump the brakes a little bit and remember that it's not always about meeting an arbitrary milestone, particularly for those of you that are being pushed by someone in your life that wants something rushed. Maybe you're trying to, if you're building a house, there's a construction date that you're trying to meet, but you don't want to rush the internal construction, because then maybe something's going to be shoddy, for instance. If it's a product that you're trying to launch and there's a project manager and they're trying to manage scope and this and that and all of that, and too many things get cut, you don't want to launch a product that also will kind of fall short of expectations. So it may be better to delay or slow something down this week and talk it out a little bit. And that's the message for you, is don't be afraid to pump the brakes, to slow down, and to revisit something. And do the right thing. That's what a knight is always asking us to do. Do the right thing. And if that means a delay, so be it. It's better to do it right the first time than to do it half-hearted and then have to go back and spend double the amount of time, money, and energy later. And if somebody doesn't want to listen to you or support that, then that's a bigger sort of, red flag, I think, for many of you. Okay? So just reviewing what we talked about overall, it's pretty good. We see expansive energy here coming through. Here, I'll zoom in a little bit more for all of you. Expansive energy coming through for the fire signs, which is great. So it's good to share. It's good to talk. It's good to get things out there. Moving on to the earth signs, your patience and your perseverance and your research is going to pay off. Air signs, being a boss is important, but remember, you don't have to be everything to everyone. Delegation and letting go is also part of the game. And then for water, pumping the brakes, slowing down and saying it and doing the right thing, even if it means a delay. Those are the sort of like concise versions of all of those. Okay. Now let's move on to the viewer's choice and reader's choice, and then we'll do the special topic. Okay. So for this portion, we're going to take a look at everything in front of us. Well, it's kind of up here now, but that's okay because I need some room to type. And I'm going to pick a couple of themes and then we'll go into the special topic. All right. So for today, let's see what's coming through. So I think that being able to say no, how and when to say no is what I'm going to feature here. Easier said than done, right? And then as we're looking at some of the other messages here, actually, it was the 9 of Cups that I really want to look at here as well. So how to see the silver lining, or I could just put like seeing the silver lining. Those two call to me quite a bit. And overcoming a disappointment so that it doesn't get in the way of all of the progress that really wants to come through this week. So those are the choices that you can vote on. While you're doing that, I'm going to take a look at a reader's choice, and I'm going to make a decision here. What do I want to look at for you? So I want to look at the expansive energy that is sort of availing itself. I think we all have a chance to kind of do that. So what is it this week that you can do to really finish what you've started, to kind of keep the momentum that we saw at the beginning part of the week, and really, finish what you've started. That's it. How can you finish what you've started? Well, hello there. It's the topic for today, the star. So let's take a look at this card a little closer and discuss. All right, so we have the star coming through. The star is reversed. The star reversed holds with it a very special message, which is don't mute your light for anyone. Don't try to change to make the masses happy. Part of the reason that you are powerful, that you are strong, that you are magnetic is because you have the capacity to be different and help people see things from a different point of view. But when you try to mute, change, revise that to a point that you lose your essence, then you're less powerful. So your power right now, your ability to finish something is by going out on a limb, by being a little bit different, but backing all of that up, of course, and just allowing people to see that star-like energy within you, okay? So I love it. And also, it reminds me a lot of the Temperance Angel when you look at this. So these are very similar cards because it is about sort of being between a couple of different points of view, between being ends and beginnings again, so it's not accidental. For my Aquarians out there, this card is closely associated with you as well. So especially the air signs that I was talking about earlier, I think it's important to be bold. So be bold. But for all of us, because I'm pulling this collectively, I would say be yourself, be bold, and The way to do this, though, is through self-love, and that's why this topic won over binary stars or high-frequency relationships, because the relationship you have with yourself is it's more important than what you're going to experience with others, because until this is love and unconditional, you can't unconditionally love somebody else. Basically, to quote RuPaul, until you love yourself, how can you love someone else? So it's true, though. It absolutely is true. So make sure that that self-love is happening. And then when you deliver your message and your true self, then other people can't help but be happy to receive it. So we'll do more on this next Tuesday. So if you have something difficult to say, if you have something that you want to do and you're afraid of how it's going to be received, the Authentic You reading is really something everyone can benefit from, because we all go through that. We all come out at some point in our life and have to say something or do something we don't want to do. So not only will it help you empathize for people that on a daily basis deal with that, but all of us, when we step into that at one point in our life, can benefit from that. So I'm looking forward to that reading. All right, let's see what you chose for me, and let's see what's going on. Okay, good choice, everyone. By 36%, it's overcoming a disappointment. Basically, we're looking at the Wednesday energy that came through with the Three of Swords to make sure that we understand that. All right, so again, looking at overcoming disappointment, we have the Queen of Wands coming through. It's the second time that we've gotten that. And it is about the magical aspects of it. So it's so interesting, in different decks, I'll get different energies, which is why I like to read with multiple cards, in case any of you wonder. First of all, it keeps it interesting for me and for you. And also I get different energies, and it makes for a more powerful reading. So what we're reminded of in this deck, and we didn't see when I was looking in the True Heart Intuitive, is the magic. So whenever I see the black cat, I think of intuition, magic. Also that I think of the 9 lives of the cat, you know. So you may feel like you've messed up, or that something isn't going to work, or that this is over. Then the cat's coming through to say, no, it's not. And so is the Queen of Wands. She's in the desert. There's all these flowers, sunflowers growing around her. And she says, look at me. I'm magical. I figured out a way. And I did it how? By just tuning into my third eye, tuning into my crown, tuning into my heart. So her magic is in her ability to believe that there could be another way. Believing is seeing. If you're too practical and you must have evidential, sort of like if you need like black and white in front of you, you're never going to progress past what has already been. Even scientists have to have theories. They have to dream. They have to test. They still take an intuitive leap. They have an epiphany. They don't just keep what was. They have to believe that there's more to discover in the universe. Otherwise, we'd still believe that the sun rotated around the earth. So we don't know everything that there is to be known. And that means that what you think is impossible may actually be possible. And so the Queen of Wands is coming through to say, think of it from another angle. Talk to someone else. You're the boss. You can figure this out as well. You're the cat. You have a 9th life. You're not there just yet, okay? So that is it. It is hope. It is curiosity. It is belief. These are keys that open up new doorways in your life. And if you give up hope, if you stop being curious, and if you don't believe that there's another way out, sure as heck, there's not going to be another way out. You've closed all the doors around you, and you're just tuned out. So this is saying tune into the possibilities. And yes, what you wanted didn't work the way you wanted it to work. But it's so funny because I'm working with a realtor to find apartments here in LA, also to look at potential homes. I'm trying to figure what to do. But there was some property that today, and we have pride parades in LA today, they're only showing it on Sunday and they won't show it during the week. And I said, really? Like one of the busiest days in all of the year here, next to maybe Halloween, because we have crazy crowds then too. I said, there's no way I can get across town. And she said, yeah, they're not going to allow for viewings. And I said, well, you know what? I have a sort of mantra, which is the universe conspires to help us, even by shutting a door. That's telling me that's not the right place. And that's definitely someone that's too restrictive and not sensitive to just common sense. So if someone in your life is kind of like this or la, 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 and they're not listening, that's the universe saying, ignore them, look over here. So when a door shuts, sometimes it shuts for a reason. Whatever's behind that door, it's not a prize. It's not good. So say thank you and don't get upset. And that's a really powerful lesson. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. It's not worth it. I'm just going to enjoy today. Take a walk with my dog, go out and see the celebrations, and have a good day. That's not the place. So if you're blocked, you're also being guided. And you need to look at your North Star, which is a perfect segue into what we're going to look at next, okay? So thank you, everybody. We're going to now go into our special topic for today. The special topic today, of course, is North Star realignment to soul path. What this is indicating for many of us, it's kind of like our cars. When you get the alignment checked, it doesn't mean that you can't drive. It means maybe that you're not being as effective as you could be. Because when your alignment's off in a car, your mileage isn't what it normally is, correct? The tires don't wear as well. Things are not working the way they should. So we're going to try to be more effective today, and also to reconnect with what it is that we set out to do initially, okay? Like I said, I've been called to use the Wildwood today. So we're going to use the Wildwood deck and see where that takes us. Okay. Sometimes I'll let you vote. Today I just kind of had a feel for the decks that I wanted to use. So just trust me as a reader that we're pulling the right decks. Okay, let's go ahead and shuffle and see the special topic today. This portion of the forecast, of course, it can work for the next 7 days, but it can extend more. Whenever I do a Celtic cross like this, it can also be 6 to 8 weeks like my monthlies. So you can always go back and re-watch the special topic portion, and it can kind of be a timeless piece if you're going through something, okay? All right, nice deep breath. Let's take a look at what's going on here. All right, get everything set up so we can see things perfectly, and let's begin. All right, I always like to start with a catalyst card. The way that a catalyst is sort of functioning in the spread that I lay out is it helps us connect and start things and stay on that sort of like right path. So it's perfect metaphor for the North Star. So the card's reversed, but it doesn't matter on this one because the name of the game here is beginnings. So in tarot, this would be very close to the Fool, basically. Even though it's got a 1, it would be like a 0 in tarot. But I'm looking at this and I think of the beginnings card, and it would be the Fool. So some of you may be holding back a little bit and saying, I'm not ready to start yet. This is an inconvenient moment in my life to do this, this, or this. A lot of times, we don't get a choice in some of the most beautiful things in our lives. You know, like it can be pregnancy, for instance. It comes at an inconvenient time. It could be having to move, something that I'm having to do right now. Sometimes a job offer will come through, and again, it could be a transfer or something like that. Something's shaking the tree a little bit where you know it's good, but it's like, oh, right now? And yeah, right now. So this is helping you get back on track. And the fact that you have to do it is the universe pushing you without having to necessarily make a tower moment. It's saying, I'm giving you this on a plate. Take it and do something with it. Do something positive. So instead of thinking, why now? Think, why not? Why not now? What's, how could I make this amazing? Don't think like, what's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? How could I make this really great? So we can have the fearful thought, and then we can try to kind of change it around. So why not? And then if you have a why not, then think, well, what can I do about that? Because this is still very compelling. So there's a low-hanging fruit, something that's right there, and now it actually fell in your lap, and you're supposed to do something with it, because otherwise, like fruit, it's going to spoil. You have a window of time, and it feels very much like it's in this next week or next month that you have to take some action on it. So this is the time. It's a call to action for change. And again, if you've been stuck, this is confirming that now it's time to get unstuck, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities in front of you. Let's look at your center card. We have the Ace of Wands, Ace of Bows in this particular deck. I love that it almost to me looks like a violin when I was looking at this for a second, or a harp. But so with the Ace of Bows here, or Ace of Wands, we see the bow and arrow. And so thoughts require actions, ideas require follow through. If you said you were going to do something, you have to do something. So this Ace of Wands is about the follow through or follow up. And it's also about aiming your target. So making sure that like, this is what I want, rather than sort of being blindfolded or just shooting up into the sky. So think of Katniss Everdeen, right? When she was pulling that and kind of like taking down the whole stadium, she knew what she was doing. There was intent, like there are many times in that sort of series of books and movies that I can think of where she knew exactly what she was doing. So including at the end. So you have to kind of have that intention and really make the most of the moment. And that's what this is. That's what I'm kind of being reminded of as I look at this, is from the Hunger Games, Katniss. She took aim and she did what she needed to do. Again, even when it wasn't popular, but when it was the right thing to do. So doing the right thing, taking a stand, and taking that moment and making the most of it. But an idea without action is just an idea. So what are you doing about it? That's the sort of first question that the universe is asking you. It's confirming, big old affirmation there, confirmation. Great idea, great intent. Now it's time to really double down on the follow through, okay? Crossing this, Nine of Pentacles, one of the best cards in Pentacles that you can get. I prefer the 10, but the 9 is good. Let's take a look at the traditional card. I like this one because we see Ouroboros and we see a snake and we see his antlers. So there's a lot of tuning into your power. Basically, if we take all of those snake symbols plus the antlers, which are like your sort of antenna going out into the universe. A traditional Nine of Pentacles shows you a couple of things. First of all, it takes time, which we always talk about with the snail, but also you've earned this moment, and you should believe in your capacity to sort of like thrive right now. So here's your traditional Nine of Pentacles. We see a woman in a garden with all the low-hanging fruit, which we talked about. We see the snail indicating that it takes time to get where you need to go. Then we see luxury, and a lot of it, actually, even excess to some degrees. But it's telling me that things are on the precipice of getting much better for you. But the only thing that can hold you back is sometimes this fear that if I don't do it myself, do I lose my power? Because this is a power card, and this is an independence card and a self-sustaining card. So the best part of the Nine of Pentacles is you can do it on your own. The most challenging piece is that maybe you could partner and get some of this work done a little bit quicker. So don't act in a silo. Don't act solely on your own. Try to sort of open up a little bit, because there could be power in collaborating. Okay? Let's look at your deep past here. We have the Five of Swords here, Five of Arrows. So the Five of Swords is a tricky card. I like that it's reversed because it means that you're getting ready to avoid this or to move past it. And I also love that we see is it a goat? He's basically being able to avoid falling sort of prey to all of the sort of tricks of the Five of Swords. Five of Swords happens when someone in your life doesn't want to admit that they're wrong, might be incapable of listening to criticism, doesn't care. It can be any one of those or all of them put together. There can also be someone in your life that's just really good at argumentative sort of statements. They're good at, they should probably be a litigator. There's some people that have to win and know how to get under your skin and all of that. So if there's someone around you that has that energy, it's not fun to be around, right? Because no matter how you try, usually those conversations end up falling apart. Either someone walks away, someone says something they don't want. It's constant tension. So that's also the universe protecting through rejecting someone or something, and it really wants you not to be there. People play roles in this lifetime on this planet, so it's kind of like we're all in some big play, and even especially the people that are playing the antagonist. We need them in a movie, by the way, because it's boring without an antagonist, right? And a book. So you need the antagonist to show you the wrong way, what not to do. And that's someone in your life is playing antagonist. So that is their role. That is not them. That is their role in your play. And when you decide to cast them in a different role or recast them, then they change. And I was listening to someone the other day talking about the importance of not giving energy or power to someone that kind of has that. And I agree with that as well. So if you see someone like that, think, okay, I no longer choose to put you on that. I don't want to put the spotlight on you and have you be the antagonist in my life anymore. I realize this isn't for me and you're not for me. And I've got something better to do. So this goat is just sort of getting through there unscathed, saying, not today, not me. And I really like that. Okay. And yes, someone's asking like what this is for. We're doing the collective portion right now. If you happen to miss the elemental, you can look at that later. I don't do a sign by sign stuff. But if you'd like to look at all my sign specific readings, they're on my main page. All right, getting back into the collective. I do enjoy what we see with this, which is basically you can get through this, you can get past this. How can you do that? We have another 5 here, and this one's in the recent past. So we have deep past, now we have recent past. So the 5 of Cups, this particular 5 of Cups is just amazing because it's not what you would normally see. A lot of times we're focusing on recalibrating or just being disappointed. And in this one, the word actually says ecstasy at the bottom. So we see someone being ecstatic and happy and celebratory about, I know what I don't want. I know that I don't need to do that anymore, and I'm going to create something better. We see the top of the star pointing towards spirit, pointing towards the North Star, and you know that you're going to be okay, which is great here. This one, by the way, also summed up nicely what it feels like to be in the 5 of Swords, which is frustration. So let frustration be one of those arrows that points you in a different path. You don't have to keep doing that. And go instead towards the 5 of Cups here, something that brings joy and happiness in your life, okay? Also remembering that creation is a dance. So in the 5 of Cups, either 2 or 3 of the cups have been spilled, depending on the artist's interpretation. And basically that means it's going to take time to repair, but she's having fun in the creative process. And that's part of the advice of this special topic, is to try to have fun in rebuilding. Okay? Let's look at your crowning card, where your head's at. Lots of snakes today, lots of power, lots of strength. So we have the King of Cups as illustrated with a big eel here. And what's cool about this, and again, I think the reason that I was choosing a nature totem deck today is because I could see different interpretations. But the King of Cups reversed is challenging you to be more flexible with how you feel. The eel in and of itself, super powerful. You don't want to cross an eel, especially an electric eel. But what it can do is get in and out of things pretty easily because it's very flexible. So an eel totem reverse would be sometimes indicating inflexibility or being too rigid. Rigidity is another way of stating it. And so being more flexible is the call to action right now. Also, you do not have to hold it all in. The King of Cups, upright or reversed, is a super expressive leadership card. So strong leaders are compassionate. They are passionate as well, I would say. And then they also have the ability to empathize. The heart is a big part of it. I know how you feel. I feel the same way. Let's make this work. That's a great call to action. And if you can do that in your life right now, that's going to be the key to your success. You can also use something like sadness or depression, and you can allow that to be an inspiration in your life. Disappointment and setback work the same way. If you work really hard for something and it doesn't happen, you have a choice to either give up or double down and decide, no, I still really, really want this. So I'm going to take the disappointment and just get motivated and work on it and revise it and keep pushing. And I'm going to be flexible because maybe there was room for improvement. Maybe it didn't work this time because it wasn't the best possible version of whatever I was trying to accomplish, right? So your flexibility, your sensitivity, your sensibility, all of these things are going to be really important and make you a better leader. But you're going to have to give and take. You're going to have to open up a little bit. And it's okay to have a good cry or a good laugh over whatever didn't happen, but something wonderful is about to happen, which is why you're tuning in. Looking at your near future card, we have the Page of Pentacles. Got a lot of great Pentacles cards today, which I love. And we have the links here symbolizing that, which is a lovely totem. And I've talked about it before. If you look really close, you can see the hairs coming out of its ear. One of the things that we're looking at with the sort of exaggerated ears are your ability to pick up on things that are being said or communicated or about to happen before others are. Sometimes someone can be talking and they're not saying everything that they need to say, but you know that there's more to it. You have the capacity to kind of like dig a little bit deeper. And the research or resource portion of this Page of Pentacles would be saying, I'm going to find out what's going on here. There's a little bit of investigative energy that I'm getting with this Page of Pentacles. If we go to the more traditional interpretation of it, it's simply saying you are ready to share something with somebody, because pages send and deliver. They are the mediums here of the court cards, and this page is upright. So it feels like once you've worked through the trickier energies that we talked about going through here, which is being flexible, letting your emotions come through but not rule you, being able to get rid of a frustrating person in your life and to focus on the creative process, then you start to really get into this power again. You found your power. You've reclaimed your power. We have the idea. We have the ability to build on that one, and now we're going to share that with somebody else or take it and move it to the next level. So this really is answering the call to action, which I'm excited to see where that takes you. There could be a job offer on the horizon. There could be someone that really likes this and wants to partner up with you. I see movement for you. The question of how to realign to path could be deciding to invest, because this card shows a lot of sort of savings or a lot of resources, and this is a decision to tap into those and to invest in yourself. Even if the card isn't reversed, it can still be an investment. It could also be selling something. So the next step involves taking a resource and moving it around a little bit. It's not going to be static anymore. There's something powerful in this, and it needs to move. It needs to grow. Okay? And again, this is about endings and beginnings. So there's a seed that's been planted that needs to be basically watered and incubated and fertilized so that it can go to the next level. All right, let's look at what's coming through with you and what could possibly be holding you back. This is your soul energy right now. And it's a really interesting Nine of Swords, because normally with the Nine of Swords, we would see someone that's stressed out. What we see here is someone who's tuned out a little bit. So we see all of the swords behind her, or all of the arrows in this deck behind her. And we see her very sort of like dedicated to whatever it is she's doing. But what I would say for you is to release fear, release anxiety, and just sort of surrender to what it is that you truly love. I do like the dedication was a part of that card. So for you right now, take the one thing that you were really focusing on. If we go back to the center, taking that Ace of Wands and take one of these swords, kind of like when we have the Seven of Cups, there's too much in front of you. You need to just focus on one thing. You're worrying too much. I was watching something on YouTube. I think it was Wired or something. They were talking to like an investigator, and she was talking about the limits of the human mind, and that we really can only focus on between 7 to 9 things. And after you hit the 9th thing, you kind of tune out because it's too much. And so I thought that was interesting because in tarot, the 7 of Cups, it's the beginning of confusion. It's also like a brainstorming card, but if you sit with the 7 of Cups too long, you get lost. The 9 of Swords can be you creating so many levels of possibility of things that could go wrong that you become incapacitated. So I like that you're trying to prepare. I like that you're trying to research, but don't go overboard. You've done enough, and I can almost guarantee that whatever it is that you want to do, it's not going to be how you anticipated, and it's likely to be better. Even difficult conversations, except with maybe 5 of Swords people. They tend to just always have a kind of crazy energy, but by and large, stay away from that and try to engage with something else. But with a level-headed person, most people don't want tension or anxiety or that sort of friction. If they do, that's a red flag, including your relationships. If you're constantly combative, that's a red flag. So if you know someone in your family, in your circle of friends, or it's your love interest, and they like to be right and they like to needle, then this isn't it. This is also a kind of signal that you can do better than that, and that they need to do better than they're doing. So take one of your concerns and deal with one at a time. The 9 together create insomnia, a lack of action, fear and anxiety, and sometimes performance anxiety. When you actually have to do something, you're freaking yourself out, even though you're prepared. Take one thing at a time and deal with it. Talk to one person at a time about some of these things, and you'll be able to basically get back into an ace energy. So we just need to decompress a little bit, because you want to do well so much that you're going to get in your own way and trip, and that's not what you want to do. So you're fine, don't worry. And if you are worried about stuff, take one of them independently. Don't try. You can't do everything at once. If you have a house that's a mess, you have to clean one room at a time. You can't clean the whole house at once. Okay. Here's what's going on around you. We have, again, the 9 of Cups making an appearance. It's reversed here. What I do like about this 9 of Cups and its illustration is the ability to rise up, to rise above. He's in control of his emotions. He doesn't let his emotions control him. He acknowledges them. He lets them flow through him. He can utilize and harness them, but he is not beholden to them. And that is the power of the 9 of Cups. Harnessing your passion and your power and being part of it, not beholden to it. We have generosity here as well as one of the messages. So I would say being able to give is a great way to receive. That's the generosity piece. And then the other thing is just allowing to kind of like share some of this, whatever it is that you have to give with the world is also going to help you get into an even better place. Okay. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. Remembering that there is a silver lining. Remembering what I was telling my realtor, which is the universe conspires to help us, not hurt us. The universe has your back. There's actually like an oracle deck named that, but it does. The universe has your back. It's just a matter of reading the signs. So let's read the next card as one of the signs for this. So we see a very distant figure here with the bow and arrow, or actually more with like looks like it's more of a wand here. But we have the 5 of Wands here. So 4 of the wands are here, and then the final one is there as he's kind of pulling it in the distance, okay? So with the 5 of Wands, we're looking at the figure on the hill, a very sort of Sagittarian energy there too, and connecting it back to purpose. So I feel like some of you, again, 5 of Wands can be being lost in the crowd, when we think of a traditional illustration, there's kind of like this competition, and not everyone's working in the same place at the same time. So I think one of your challenges right now is going to be, how can I get everybody on the same page? And the answer to that is illustrated by this figure on the back, which is sort of standing out, being bold, and also directing things a little bit. He's taking his wand or his arrow here and saying, this is the way. So back to my original message, which is it's time to stand out, right? So I think that's important. Let me see if there's anything else that we want to talk about with this. The other thing here is I like that we have them on two different hills here. Like this is like the rolling hills. So looking at the upside of things, and that's going to help you with this. And looking at things inside out, looking at it from a different angle is also going to help. Everyone else is over here. You're over here. You've got a bigger sort of view, and I think that's the important piece on that one as well. Okay. Now we have the shaman. We also have two ones here. So beginnings, but the shaman and the magician energy is about harnessing your power. And I like that it's the shaman here too, because it's even a little bit more mystical. But with the magician in the outcome, if you put your intention and your mind to it, you can do it. The other thing is the magician helps people see things that they wouldn't normally see. If we think of not like a magician in tarot, but like just like magician in real life, one of the things that they work with is illusions, but they also help people believe and see things sometimes that they wouldn't have seen if it weren't for just sort of like the magic. So you have this capacity to help people see something, help them believe, and that's a powerful thing. Use that wisely. When we think of a shaman and we think of also a true magic practitioner, a witch, if you want to call it, or a wizard, they are truly combining elements, and that's why you have all the elements in front of you on the magician card, and belief and intention, and they're putting it together, and that's where the magic is. So back to what I was talking about, the keys to your portals. You have to have hope, you have to have curiosity, you have to have belief. And pulling all of them together with practice is also the fourth key. If I were to kind of like, instead of the four elements, I would say the shaman has four keys to being able to open the doors. And magic, faith, art, anything worth doing takes practice. Intuition is a practice too. The more you use it, the more the channel opens. So practice makes perfect is the final message there on the outcome. Let's expand this and see if we can get some additional lenses. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny with respect to this realignment to the soul path. Okay. We're going to start with your health message. Express your creativity. Thank you, angels, for helping me express my inner creator. And I think that this was a really nice sort of like graduation from the shaman or the magician card. And it's saying, how am I going to channel this? Now, just expressing yourself. Let's take the creative piece out because I'm looking at health. Expression is the main message in this card. So when was the last time you truly sort of expressed how you feel? Your creativity is your heart center. Today, I have a beautiful flower on top of it. But we need to be able to express our creative side and express our hearts. And so opening your heart to the person that you love, opening your heart in general to being able to receive, to send and receive love, all of that's going to be vital for your happiness right now. I'm going to give just a quick disclaimer, and then we're going to talk about how you can do this and why this is important. So I'm looking at energy. If you're having anything going on in your mind, body, or spirit, well, I would say your mind or your body, or even your emotional self, and you need some help, work with a professional. I'm going to help you with energetic patterns and openings that can also help you. So I'm looking at the metaphysics portion of this. All right. Looking at the metaphysics, what's going on with you right now? Well, as I said earlier, I think one of the biggest triggers for many of you is emotions. We have two cups cards reversed, the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Vessels. By the way, I said king earlier, it's a knight. but the same flexibility message comes through. The one thing that I would say that's different with a knight is they know what to do. Kings can be a little bit more rigid, so for some reason I was seeing a king instead of a knight. But anyway, we have the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Cups here, and the important thing with both of these is to focus on allowing your emotions not to rule you, but to flow through you, and then also deciding how to harness that, okay? And if you can do that, you're going to be okay, but sometimes it takes some coaching and it takes some help. If you can talk to a coach or find someone that can help you be a little bit more flexible and less rigid, I think that's going to benefit you. Control issues are also popping up here when I'm looking at this Nine of Pentacles. Again, having to hold on to everything, having to control things, it plays a common thread here. So realize that there are some people that won't let that happen. They have to have it their way. So let bygones be bygones. Let crazy people kind of exit out of your life. They're just not worth the energy. You have so much more to do. Invest the power in something better. This person's not worth it. And you need to be positive and ecstatic about what's coming next. That's going to bring you into your power. The 3 cards at the center, you can isolate 3 and have a whole reading there. They're good. 5 of Cups, Ace of Wands, Page of Pentacles. So redirection and focusing on something positive, taking action on that new sort of general focus, then other people are invested in that as well. So that's, if you can kind of get back into your power, then all this other stuff, the emotions are playing the biggest sort of like health block for you right now. And I think if you can get past that, that's key. Some of you are working too hard and haven't gotten enough sleep. So make sure that you're taking time to balance it out so that you don't get sick. We can't afford that. Even the pandemic is still sort of like continuing as long as it can. And so we don't want to get sick while there's bigger viruses and other things out there. You need to stay focused and stay healthy. Let me see if there's anything else that we need to focus on with respect to this. You know, generally speaking, I like what I see here. The last thing with the Magician card is the ability to kind of work and blend like Eastern and Western medicine. So meditation plays an important part in health, vitamins and herbs and things of that nature. Again, working with your doctor and then also working with maybe your spiritual practitioner to find this nice blend. It's not all or nothing. So this is blending the elements. That's why I'm talking about that, because magicians mix and match. So in order to kind of find the best possible health outcome, you might talk to a couple of experts. You might mix and match a couple approaches. You might blend Eastern and Western medicine. Okay. Generally speaking, things look good. It's the emotional piece that's the toughest, and the emotional piece is what's going to hold you back from progress. So talk to someone if you need to, especially a counselor. All right, let's move on to your wealth card. We have Anunnaki light codes coming through. It says energetic shift, new information, end of a cycle. Absolutely. The card was reversed, so that just means that it could be happening at an inconvenient time, like the beginnings card at the beginning. But both of these cards are saying it's happening in cosmic timing, exactly when it needs to. So if something is making you uncomfortable and that discomfort pushes you to the next thing, that's why it happened. Once you decide to make the move or the movement, the other thing falls away because it doesn't play a role anymore. And so your movement, your action, then affects the other thing, and then it falls away, and it'll go cause trauma and drama with someone else and not you. So that's what we're seeing is you're being called to go into a better space with respect to your money, your career, or your life purpose. So we're going to dig a little deeper into this one because it has a lot to do with that realignment message. So energetic shift, new information, end of a cycle. What should we be ending cyclically? Well, we talked about it. If there's someone who just won't allow you to have a voice, who ignores reason, that person's falling out. Or they're pushing you towards something where you can be more yourself. Environmentally, if it's low morale, or if people around you are always like on top of the world or bottom of the world, but never in between, there's a toxic environment. These two cards can play together because a lot of times when someone's closed off, they can create that reaction within you as well. So we need to get away from that all or nothing energy. It doesn't doesn't work anymore. With respect to just general worth, you are worth this and a lot more, because we see Nine of Pentacles graduating to the Page of Pentacles. So I see that you are overdue for some sort of an upgrade or a raise or some sort of higher vision and placement. So are you ready for that? What's holding you back? Some of you might be holding on to something because you like where you're at, or someone else could be holding on to you and not wanting to let you go. So the power struggle thing needs to fall away. Did you notice how many fives we got? 5 of Arrows, 5 of Cups, 5 of Wands. So that's a lot of work that you've been doing. So again, Arrows, so Swords. So we're just missing Cups, 5 of Cups, which we talked about earlier. 5 of Cups is there. So Cups, Arrows, Swords, Pentacles. This is cool. I'm actually glad the 5 of Pentacles is missing because, but we'll just touch on one last thing because it could be the elephant in the room. For some of you, just really understanding that you are worth it, because that's really what the 5 of Pentacles has to do with mother-child energy or father-child energy, and then also self-worth, usually from a wound from the past, not always parental. It can be school or other life energy. So basically overcoming something from your past and just saying, I'm ready and I'm worth this, because you've been through all the other 5s. Let's just assume that 5 could be out there. And that could be the sort of missing piece to help you see the worth that you have, and to really celebrate that, okay? And then starting something new, you might be doing this on your own, because this can be a brand new beginning. We're looking at Lord Ganesha here, helping you work past a block. And this big opportunity here is the shaman saying, hey, this is calling. Let's try something new. And again, affirming that this is a Knight card. Knights take action. This Knight is asking you to be more flexible. And we talked about pumping the brakes the last time I saw the Knight. So maybe slowing down a little bit and revising is going to be important for this. If you can't get where you need to be at your current place of employment or in your current relationship, then again, it's more about cooperation, not competition. So if you can't cooperate, then we see 2 1 cards here, Beginnings and Shaman, which is saying, then go a different path, because that person has shown that they're not ready or willing to allow you to make that shift that you need to. And we saw the World card coming through for certain signs this month. So that shift and that movement is going to be supported, okay? I do feel like many of you are being asked to repackage and reimagine. When I went to school once upon a time, what I thought I'd be doing and what I'm doing now, it's a lot different. But I'm actually, I've talked about this before, I'm using all the skills that I had originally. I studied for journalism and film. So the journalism portion helped me cultivate my curiosity and helped me articulate my thoughts. And I thought I might be doing something with broadcast at some point, but I wasn't clear that it would be this, because this didn't exist. YouTube wasn't around when I was doing my undergraduate. And then when I did my graduate work, it was about telling stories or finding a way to convey information to people. So what I do now is I ask questions and I see the thread or the story in the cards, and I tell the story. And I help you see it from a different point of view, like a documentary or like a special on TV. So I actually am using my skills, but what I studied didn't exist now. So I just had to evolve. And this still, people don't understand what I do sometimes if I tell them. I usually will just say I'm like a video producer or a content creator or a producer or a writer, because they can understand those words. And then if I want to get into the spiritual stuff, I'll say I'm a coach or a life coach. People don't get everything, but you get it and I get it. And so sometimes you're going to be making something up that doesn't exist quite yet. Everything had to be created at one point. So your next step could be pulling together the different elements and creating something new. And just because you've been on a path for 5, 10, 20, 40 years or something, doesn't mean that you are constrained to it. It means that at some point you've got what you need to, and now you can do something different with it. It's a bold decision, and it gets harder sometimes as you go further down your path, but I'm still glad that I made the decision that I made. There's no returning to where I used to be. That bridge is gone. And I don't want it back either. But But it is something that I think about sometimes. I'm like, I'm very much committed to this or some future path. I could never go back in a corporation. I would be so unhappy. So know yourself, decide what you want to do, and don't be afraid once you have the inner knowing to create. Magicians create. Think of, again, I wish there was a better word than magician or witch or wizard. Wizard's kind of fun, but like it is sort of the magic portion of it is what I like, because you are a co-creator. You're a creator. So this is your time to actively create something new. And if you don't see the channel out there for what it is that you're going to do, whip up something new like a cook would, right? You're going to make a new dish, make a new meal. And that's the big realignment is it may not exist where you're at. It may not exist around you. You might have to pitch it or propose it, or you may have to just fully create it yourself and launch something, okay? But you can mold it. You are the sculptor. You are the magician. You are the high priestess. You have the capacity to do that. All right. That was wealth. It's time to change it. If I have to summarize it, you're putting on your co-creator hat and working with God and the universe to do something new, to do something different. Let's move on to love and relationships and see how they factor in. Well, here's the hidden Five of Pentacles, because that is Five of Pentacles, is self-love and self-acceptance. A traditional Five of Pentacles, you would see an illustration with two people not looking at each other in front of a church or some sort of place of worship. And it's sort of like there's safety behind us, there's safety together, but we're choosing to not support each other. So sometimes in our life, someone didn't support us, didn't acknowledge us, or outright said, you don't deserve this. And they weren't in their right space when they did that. So what you're going to be working on right now is loving and accepting who you are and also celebrating what you're working to cultivate in your life. That's one of the cool things that's really sort of like supportive when it comes to gardening, for instance, is you have this capacity to watch things grow and you know that you're a part of that and you can take some joy in that. So imagine that you're a cosmic gardener and there's things that you might want to change or shift in your life. So you're not denying who you are and you're not trying to change everything that you are, but you're starting to evolve and build upon it. So co-creating, starting something new, and loving yourself. Love what Spirit and the universe gave to you, and also know that we chose a lot of this, like where we live, who our parents are, and what we look like, because we wanted to experience certain things in this lifetime. What we do with that is up to us, and what we do next lifetime is up to us too. But so since you were given this vehicle, this shell, this experience, how can you make it something really worth the ride? Okay? So that's the question here is how I have to love myself because this is what I've got, right? I'm not that person. I'm not going to be that person. I'm me. And the more that I love myself, the easier it is for people to be around me as well, because it's welcoming, it's inviting, there's less friction, there's less sort of sadness. So it's win-win when you love who you are. Okay, so let's see how you can do that. We're going to focus on that first. I very rarely do, I should add a fourth actually, which is how can you love and accept yourself? Because I always focus on those in love, looking for love, single and happy. Today the universe said, how can you love yourself more? And maybe that's all we'll focus on, but we'll see. So what's the message for a relationship with self? To celebrate your independence, to celebrate your ability to have great ideas. Those are two things worth celebrating. To celebrate your passion as well. What are some things, also the fact that you can kind of succeed at anything you put your mind at, because the magician is the jack of all trades. What are some things that you can work on? What could be causing friction in that self-love? Well, maybe you suffer from the, so you have to be right on certain things sometimes. Or there's someone in your life that because they had to be right, there wasn't room for you to be yourself. So let go of trying to be right and let go of trying to prove someone else wrong. This doesn't serve you anymore. Focus on the future, not the past. Focus on what you can control, not what was taken away or what was lost. Flexibility is key. What you thought you needed to do or what you thought was going to happen, it's going to be a little different. invest in yourself, the best investment you can make. Lead by example. Don't get caught up in all of the other stuff that's coming through. Be the leader, not the follower. You're thinking too much about what people may not like. The Nine of Swords is very rarely as stressful as it seems. It's usually sort of stress that we've created for ourselves. So those are the messages for self-love. We're going to go very light on, maybe I'm just going to talk about one thing for each of the next ones because I feel like that was the important piece. If you're in a current relationship, themes of independence and resource management play the biggest part. So it feels like one or both of you are fiercely independent or want to do your own thing. Conversations about how to spend time, money, and effort, that's what's pulling you apart. Inflexibility also pulling you apart. So work your magic, help your partner see something from a different point of view, and stop stressing out. And if they're too stressed out, what you might want to do is change the environment to something more positive. If you can have any sort of a conversation on your own ground, that's going to be important too. So that's the main thing I'm seeing here is partnerships seem to be pulled in different directions because you have different goals. And how to kind of come eye to eye on those goals is going to be the most important thing. Also, sparking the passion. We talked about intimacy earlier, and that just spending time together or doing some common interests together is going to be key. If you're looking for love this month, you're pretty busy. You're maybe not looking at what's obvious because the Five of Cups usually has a couple of cups in the background, which showed itself earlier. So there's a subtlety or a surprise in the way that partnerships may show up. But the big question here is, are you ready? Because to me, this is someone who's a little stressed, whose emotions are running high, and who's working really hard. So it feels like you need to find some balance in your life to allow the new person to come in. We do have a nice Page of Pentacles here, so nice grounding energy. But your energy is coming through more with the Knight of Cups reverse. So some of you just need an outlet first, and you need to ground yourself so that this new energy can come into your life. If you're single and happy, good for you. I feel like the main energy is going to be in focusing on what you're going to do next. A lot of busy energy between Five of Wands and the Magician. And I think for everybody, at any stage of relationship this month, stress management is the most important thing. So it's going to be a productive month, and there's a lot of energy with sort of working on yourself and also like business as well. But if you're in a relationship, that's going to get in the way, or you're going to have to find a balance between the two. And if you're single and looking, the same thing. If you're single and happy, again, I just feel like it's a great month to do that, to be that, because you're going to be very productive. So really focus on money and work this month, and then allow yourself to just decompress. I think a vacation towards the beginning and possibly the end of the month would be good. A day or two here and there will benefit everybody. All right, the final card here, not the final card, but the Destiny card is the Cheetah, which is saying things are going to pick up. The pace is going to improve. We have like almost a hidden sun behind the Cheetah, so your enthusiasm, your charisma will also be like the spark that creates this action, but we love the Cheetah. So things will start to move faster. The question is, are you ready? And what are you going to do when they start to move more quickly? Will you keep up the momentum? That's why I want you to take some time off. You're not sleeping enough, you're not resting enough, some of you, or there's too much stress. So talk to someone, get the mental health piece really sorted out this month, or the emotional sensitivity piece sorted out so that you can hit the ground running like we see with this Cheetah card, okay? Let's now take a look at a big idea, and the big idea is an overarching card that can help answer the initial question that we had, which was, how can we realign to the soul path? What's the one thing maybe that needs the most focus? So we have the Knight of Bows here, or the Knight of Wands, and it's the Fox. And an interesting thing with the Fox is, and I love the way his eyes are kind of shut here, we can't outfox the Fox. So for many of you, you already know what needs to be done, and it's really a question of accepting and celebrating and sort of doing something with that. The other thing here is trusting your wisdom. You've been around this sun a few times, and you've probably been on this planet a few times, because almost everybody that's watching has a sort of rich soul and a deep past. And I want you to trust and embrace your wisdom. And sometimes we have people in our lives that have us second guess ourselves. So what is your first instinct? What is your first impression of what the next chapter of your life looks like? Do you see yourself partnered? Do you see a child? Do you see a new job? Do you see a move? Are you going back to school? What's the big theme? And the big theme could be, are you going to give back to people around you? Are you feeling like a new sense of strength within? Are you expanding your knowledge so that you can just explore this wonderful universe that we're in? What do you want to do? Because this is all about mind over matter. And so it's really asking you yes, what is your heart desire, but also what do you picture for yourself? Because with that, you've got to bring those two together. Feel it, see it, do it. So that's your sort of trifecta. Feel what's moving you, imagine how this is going to come together, and then call into action something that's going to help you facilitate this. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. The Knight of Wands in reverse is a bossy card too. All of the Wands cards, particularly when they're reversed, the court cards are bossy. So we've been getting a lot of take charge, boss sort of energy. And if you've ever thought of leading something, this is definitely a first step in that direction. But Knights still need to gain a little bit of confidence and learn a little bit. So whatever you can do to feel as wise as you're already coming across, that's going to be key. Sometimes we need that diploma or that, certification or whatever it is that you're getting to open the door as well. But I'm telling you, there's also like a spirit given or God given gift as well that just is looking for like a little bit of polish. So whatever you want to do to allow people to see that, it might just be stepping. We talked about the star earlier. Part of the star is just showing people what you have. So it's not always about going to school or getting an award or getting recognition. It's more about just saying, look at what I have to share and sharing it. So somehow you need to get to that point. So if it requires that extra bit of training or support, go for it, or mentorship. But that's the ultimate thing that I'm seeing is something where you're being able to give back and teach or lead. Teaching, leading, or sharing is part of this. It's not a passive sort of energy. So the next phase in your journey is a little bit more active and a little bit more front and center. Okay? That, my friends, is your reading for today. We have a couple of additional parts, but those are the main pieces here. So we're going to focus now on a quick meditation, and then do you have a final question for me? Maybe I sparked some sort of a question that you hadn't considered before. Now is the time to scribble it down on paper, and we're going to meditate together, and then we'll take a look and see what the answer is, okay? And hopefully that resonated with you. So I'll give you a chance to vote on which instrument you'd like me to play, and then we'll get into that final card and go from there. All right, so we can use the crystal pyramid or the singing bowl. Go ahead and let me know which one you'd like to hear. And while you're voting on that, let's set up the meditation. So I really like the energy of the North Star, the Polaris, or thinking of the Big Dipper. I'll pull up this little image while we're talking about it for a moment here. So we have the Great Bear, we have that beautiful Aurora Borealis behind it, and we have the North Star as well. So imagine that you're looking up at the night sky and you're seeing the constellation pictured there, and you're seeing a very, very bright star, Polaris, shining. And even beyond that, you see another star shining in the sky. This is your star. This is your soul coming through. Closing your eyes, I want you to connect with that and imagine that each and every ray, or I should say each and every chakra in your body is connecting with a ray of light from that star. So you see at least 7. We have more chakras than that. There are a few above and below, and there are other points in our bodies, in our ears, and on our hands that have energy points. So as many as you can visualize, imagine that you could even hold your hands up a little bit, and each finger is connecting to a ray of light. And as you plug into this cosmic channel of light above you, you feel this connection that you haven't felt before. You feel safe, you feel seen, you feel like you know yourself. You can feel a warmth. I certainly can. I can feel warmth in the crown chakra. I can feel it in my fingers, almost as if this light is warming it or tickling it a little bit. It's a nice sensation. So as you feel this connection to your higher self, I want you to just quietly breathe. Focus on the sound of your breath as you're breathing. Listening to how it almost sounds like an ocean as the waves come in and out. And with each breath that you take, imagine that you're drinking in waves of energy as well, bringing the light into each and every cell in your body, each and every fiber of your being, each and every nerve ending as well, plugging into the light above you. You can also place your hands on your heart if you'd like to, allowing for that self-love, self-acceptance to come through. Or you can imagine that you're the magician becoming a channel of energy and light. As you do this, I want you to set into your mind's eye one thing, one thought, one intention. Because one of the things that we talked about earlier was the ability to basically focus on what matters. So see that one thing that matters the most and allow for this to be your central focus. And say to the universe, I am ready, I am willing, I believe. And remember the keys that we talked about, the key of curiosity, why not? The key of hope, the belief that we have within us. And now this final key, intention, I'm bringing them together and I see that it's possible. I believe that it's possible. I know that it's possible. I'm going to do this. I'm opening the door in front of me. Or in the case of that image that I showed earlier, you're going to walk through that cave that the bear was guarding and you're going to walk to the other side. Okay? So just focus on receiving, believing, and holding on to the key now in front of you. You can see it as a key of golden light. And this key is a skeleton key that will open any door in front of you because you've pulled together everything like the alchemic shaman, bringing all of these things together and creating this magical key. Now it's up to you with where you want to take yourself next. I'm going to now play the singing bowl, so give me a moment to grab that instrument and we'll go from there. One last deep inhale, exhale. Take that key and place it right there over the heart center. And now as you speak, as you move, as you travel through each and every day of your life, your heart will be the key that opens the doors and opens the opportunities in front of you. Let's focus now on the big idea. Not the big idea, but the final card rather. The final card is going to be the question that you've been holding for me that perhaps I haven't had a chance to answer, or maybe as you were meditating, you thought, what if this happens? What can I do about this? So let's take a look at the answer to your question, and we'll go from there. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have a horse on it, which I love. As a totem, one of the cool things with this is it's basically saying, it's almost like a little bit of the Chariot energy. You can do this. You're already doing this. The one thing that might be lacking a little bit from the current situation is just ownership and leadership, which we've been talking about today. But the Knight of Pentacles tells me things are picking up quickly. It is a yes to a yes-no question. With this, I would say, though, it's unwieldy. This particular Knight of Pentacles is unwieldy because it's a wild steed. There's nobody riding the horse. The horse isn't carrying a chariot, and there's no direction. So the most important thing that you could do right now, kind of like what we saw earlier, is to take this beautiful idea and focus it just like a bow and arrow. And then you don't need someone to tell you what to do. You can just be like a horse with a mission and decide where it is that you want to be. It seems like freedom is going to be an important piece here. The fact that I even chose a deck with very few people in it, all of the court cards are animals, is indicative of the fact that many of you are looking for independence and your own sort of path and your own sort of voice. So as you do whatever you're going to do next in your life, keep your voice, keep your vision, and stand your ground. You're worth it. And we see an elevation here from the Page to the Knight, which is great, okay? So this was kind of listening, learning, believing, and now this one is saying, yeah, I'm moving this forward now, okay? It's a great card. Some of you may be already in the middle of something. So a job has already started, a move has already happened, a relationship is already underway. And this is keeping the pace, keeping your voice, keeping the vision. And, you know, I wanted to almost willed myself to see a king card, but we didn't get a king today. We have all pages and knights. And so there still is that leadership opportunity for you. We had a queen. No, we got a knight. Did I get it somewhere else? I'm just looking here real quick. No. I know I pulled it earlier, so that's what's kind of missing there is that I want the bossy Queen of Wands energy that we've been looking at earlier, that we saw when I was doing the initial part of this reading. So if you can be a little bit more front and center, I think that's going to be so helpful for you overall. But by and large, couldn't ask for a better card to end with. There's nothing really negative here other than the lack of organization in it, okay? So that, my friends, is your reading for this week. Again, if you would like to take a look at my website, you can go to nicholasashbaugh.com/live and then click on this month's reading. I can tell you what's coming through for the week ahead. However, we are currently doing the Weekend Collective. And so this upcoming week, it's going to be Gemini, Cancer, and Leo, which will be exciting. And then a week from this week, I have the special topic. So after, let's see, we have then a Weekend Collective next Sunday, then Virgo, and then the bonus reading will be next Tuesday, which I talked about, and that's Tuesday, June 14th. I thought I would do it in the middle of the month because I know Pride hits at different points for different countries and different states. So the bonus reading is the authentic you, and I'm excited to see kind of like how we can really focus on being ourselves without fear, without sort of hiding anymore, and really celebrating all the different things that make us amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and focus now on a little bit of gratitude. I want to say thank you. I see so many familiar names here in the room as I'm looking at my monitor on the side. Thanks for showing up today. Thanks for being a part of this. I want to also extend some gratitude to anybody that became a member today. Today, the members broke the tie, and so did the Patreon patrons. Again, 17 votes was all that broke the tie, and each of them had around 300. Let me look at this real quick. It's just kind of nice to know, if you're curious, how many votes these topics got today. So the one that won, let's see, it had 435 votes, and then the other one had 418. So it's a very slim margin, only 17 that they won by, and it was the memberships through both channel members and then also Patreon that helped me push it over, because it was a dead heat when I was looking at the YouTube votes on that. So it was perfectly tied. That very rarely happens, but it's kind of cool. That's what the memberships are for, and it helped me not have to pull a card to decide. So thank you guys. All right, so let's get into the gratitude portion where I just want to say thank you. We're going to start with brand new members, so give me a moment to pull up the tab here. And let's say thanks. Sheena Davis, brand new member. Thank you so much for joining. Quintana May, thank you as well, brand new member. Let's see, Fair? I can't say it. I think it's Fea. Thank you as well for 15 months and rejoining. Eve Limos, thank you for joining, brand new member. Let's see, Emir Page, thank you very much, brand new member as well. And I think that's everybody from today or yesterday. So welcome to all of you. Apologies for any mispronunciations. I do my best. All right, let's go ahead now and say thanks to Super Stickers and Super Chat that were given today. And kicking things off was Aaron H. Thank you so much. Glad that you stayed up late in Australia to see me. I appreciate it. I know that this new time actually benefits folks in New Zealand and Australia. So I'm glad that I was able to, for at least a short amount of time, have a better time period for you. Let's see, Dana C., thank you very much. Diane Spencer, Anna V., Tahoe, let's see, Live Zen Alternative Wellness, Allison Spites, I think it is maybe, Not Just Rainbows, Iso Agogo, Mahima Lalit, Sheena Davis, Mari or Mary, thank you very much. Jackie DeVilliers, Sonette LaRue, Patricia Angarita, It's a Mood Studio, Palace Athene, thank you very much. Donnet Hill, Mary Devines, I think it is. I'm just going to say, Marie D. I'm just going to put it there. Let's see. Shruti, I hope it is. Thank you very much. Mermaid Crystal, Kathy Ahern, Tania Hascom, Dark Star Alchemy, Yvette Sanchez, Kendra Williams, Cindy Toshik, Wendy Wright. Let me see who I missed here. Nichama, thank you very much. Looks like you just added one as well. And I think I got everybody today. Thanks again for all of you for showing up today. Kendra, I appreciated that 50 as well. Thank you. A lot of great contributions and new members today as well. Good to have all of you here. So I hope that you can join me tomorrow for those of you that are, let's see what it was, I'm doing Gemini again. So if you're Gemini, I hope to see you again. Gemini, Cancer, and Leo on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Every Sunday I'm here. I do 2 bonus readings per month as well. You can look at it all on my live schedule. Lots of love and light to all of you. I hope that you're having a great week, a great weekend, and a great week ahead. Happy Pride for those of you that are celebrating. And until I see you again, take care of yourselves. Special thanks to Dakota for moderation today as well. I appreciate his assistance on the weekends. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And until then, be well, be happy, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.